Hi YouTube, it's your girl Lola Be Knowing, and I'm back for my numero dos second video. I'm so excited today. My energy is high. I'm feeling good. The full moon was yesterday, so I feel reset, recharged, and ready to go. Thank you so much for everyone who subscribed to my channel. If you haven't, hit the little bell, yeah. And tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that Lolo Be Knowing, y'all. Also, personal readings are still open. I have my information down in the description box, but I also have links on my social media at Lolo Be Knowing on everything. Thank you. I had to get into that first before I get into the video. So the purpose of today's video is to just tell you what you need to know. So this is not something that is time sensitive. You can come back to this video at any time, basically, it's not like one of those, like, this is for September, this is for August, this is for a specific group. It's for whoever it resonates for at this time. I just felt called to pull some cards. I will be back with the September check-in to tell you what you need to know for September, but that's then, this is now. Let's get into it, y'all. All right, I done already prayed over everything. I decided I wanted to start with this deck first, which is like a bunch of oracle cards, just to see what you all need to know. Let's get into it. So, Spirit, what is the collective, the people watching this video, what do they need to hear right now? And I love this deck because I use it in the personal readings and it always hits. So, what do people need to hear right now? What do they need to hear? Okay, so I got 3 cards here. I'm gonna just read all 3. And then I'm gonna do the Soul's Journey Lessons card. So you guys really like these in the personal readings as well. It just has one word and a saying. I used this in my last video as well. So what do the people who are watching need to hear? Ooh. We're gonna use those that just fell out. I love the jumpers because those are the ones that like hit you in the nuts. Yeah, get into it. Okay. Oh, we got some good shit. So the first thing here says mistakes. Allow me to know it's okay to make mistakes. Let me always take care of my inner child so that they feel loved no matter what. It's a lot of inner child messaging coming up with Leo season still being around, because I just feel like a lot of our, so a lot of adults nowadays, you're seeing the form that you're seeing them in is basically like their inner child. And so a lot of people haven't healed that womb, or haven't like really revisited some of the trauma and some of the things that their inner child hasn't dealt with. So when they get into arguments with you, or when they are in situations that may be challenging, you can kind of see those like inner children. So basically a lot of us are just little kids just walking around in adult form. And so I feel like this message coming out first, allow me to know it's okay to make mistakes. A lot of people think that that failure isn't a part of your success. Like, if I fail, that means that I've ruined everything. I will never be able to make it on top, or you know, I'm an embarrassment, or this is humiliating, and things like that. But I was watching this Lauryn Hill video. Shout out to Lauryn Hill, the namesake. But she was talking about how in order to reach the certain pinnacle of success, or kind of like what God's plan is for your life, you have to be humiliated. You have to make mistakes. You have to fall on your face. And so I think a lot of us learned as children that when we make mistakes, or when we fell, it was kind of like, oh, look at you. How did you do that? Why would you do that? I told you not to do that. And it's kind of like a finger wagging type thing, versus taking that moment to reassess, realign, and reevaluate our priorities. Okay, yes, I failed. Okay, yes, I had a moment where I slipped. I had a moment where my judgment wasn't as sound as it should have been. But instead of picking ourselves back up and continuing on, our inner child stays in that space. So I want all of you to affirm to yourself every day that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fall and get right back up. When I used to fall off the bike, I would look up to see like if anyone saw, or like, you know, to see my mother's reaction or whatever. And even when I didn't get that, like, oh, you okay, baby, all of that, no, I got up and I had to keep going. And so I think that kind of taught me that even when I do fall, I'm gonna be okay. And yeah, broke my ankle, whatever, but like a real player never stay down. And so I think that's what y'all needed to hear right now, is that no matter what happens, no matter what obstacles come your way, that you still are okay and you're gonna be fine. I feel like I didn't need to put that in such a, like, sometimes I speak and it's so like ethereal, like kind of up in the clouds. No, I'm gonna simplify it and say like, it's okay to make mistakes. If you fail, that's okay. Keep going. Second thing is doubt. Offering all to the divine doesn't mean negativity never arises. But you can say, free me from this prison of doubt. I cast this burden to you. You as in God. Show me your will and restore me to faith and confidence. Let's talk about this, because a lot of people say they have so much faith and they trust God and blah, 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 but doubt is present in every conversation that I have with them. And I always wonder, I'm like, okay, I talked about this a lot. Faith and fear are not cousins. The bitches don't do brunch together. They don't even like each other. So how do we cast our burdens to the divine or to whomever out into the universe, but then we don't have the faith and the confidence in ourselves to push forth? And I feel like these messages kind of go hand in hand, right? Because you're fearful of making mistakes, the doubt is present, the negativity is lingering in almost everything that we do sometimes, and then the mistake is like what keeps us sitting in that inner child energy of, I just want someone to pick me up, I want someone to save me. No one's going to save you. And I think that that's what we're going to realize, especially in Virgo season, because Pisces, Virgo, they're sister signs, and they have this axis of like, who's going to save me? I'm a victim, but then they're the savior. It doesn't make sense. And so I hope that this month, 606, when I said that too, and so we'll talk about like angel numbers and stuff like that, but repeating numbers is always a good sign for me. So but yeah, I do feel like a lot of times we want to be heroes in our story, but then we want to play the victim. And so there are times that even myself, I have to call myself out and be like, Lauren, you're doing okay, you're fine. Whatever victim complex you had, and I'm a Pisces, because I got a victim complex. Whatever victim complex you have today doesn't exist. So feel your feelings, cry your cry, get up, put your boots on, and get to work. And I think that motivation, sometimes we need to be real with ourselves. So a lot of my readings sometimes are gentle, but then sometimes I come out with the dragon, let y'all know, like, hey, let's pull it together. For Virgo season, do me a favor, pull it together. And then this last card, I love this so much. It says, make it God's. Release the idea of mine. As soon as you start to say the money, the relationship, the job, freedom arrives. When there's no grasping, the right actions get shown. Free me from the prison of mine. So this talks about ownership of things. And this is something that I struggle with. So I'm not about to preach to the choir and act holier than thou, because I still struggle with that. I'm always like, oh, when I get my AMG, when I get my, like, girl, none of this belongs to me. None of this that you see here belongs to me. This is all through the divine. This is all my ancestors. This is all their workings, and I give them the credit. Like, yeah, I am the vessel in which all of this comes through, but at the end of the day, it's theirs. And I think that sometimes we have to surrender that ownership and give it back to them. And so your challenge this month, or whenever you watch this video, make it God's. Give it back to the divine. It is not yours. And once we stop taking ownership of the material world or the physical things, we start to become more spiritually connected. And so that's my lesson. That's something that I needed to hear right now. I'm dragging myself along with y'all, but that's okay, because we in it together. We like Moana and Maui in the boat, like rowing together. All right, so now let's talk about these two cards here, because this card we got last month in the August reading. It says, discipline, I can accomplish what I set my mind to. So yeah, when we go back to those mistakes and the doubt, I think that may have stopped us from achieving some of the things we wanted to achieve this month. And that's okay, because guess what? We always have more time. It's kind of like the theme song for Orange is the New Black. Like, the joke is you've got time because they're in prison. But like, for you guys, we have time. We can do this. And I love how all these cards are purple, because purple is the color of the crown chakra. And I think that the key to kind of getting the discipline, getting rid of the doubt, and fixing the idea of making mistakes or failure is to become more connected to above. And so maybe we need to get some crown chakra affirmations. Maybe we need to do some, I love on YouTube how they have like crown chakra meditation. So you could just sit aimlessly. People always ask me how I meditate, and it's crazy because I don't have a real answer. There's some days where I physically sit and do the and then there's some days where I just sit in silence, or there's some days where I'm practicing mindfulness. So I'm washing the dishes, but I'm not thinking about what's next. I'm thinking in that moment, let me focus on that one thing. So mindfulness is key, I guess, to helping me with my own discipline and helping me with my routine. Is just focus on here right now. We're not thinking about what we eating for dinner. We're not thinking about how crazy work is going to be. We're not thinking about anything else but what we're doing in that moment. And that's how I stay tapped in. And then lastly, indecision. So there's a lot of back and forth for anyone that's watching this video. And I always tell, when people book personal readings with me, I always tell my clients, you're not indecisive. You know what your heart wants to do. You know what your gut, because you feel it here. You know what you want to do, but there's just that fear That's just that doubt. That's just the not wanting to make a mistake or not want to make the wrong move. You're never going to make the wrong move, because if you're truly connected and if you believe that you're protected, divinely guided. I think that's my like bio or whatever on Instagram, but it's true. Like if you are divinely guided, you'll always be course corrected to whatever it is that you're trying to get to. You're always going to be shifted back into alignment if you believe in that and if you truly surrender your life. But I think that a lot of times when we play indecisive, oh, I don't know what to do, oh, I'm so stuck. We're not stuck. It's like the two of swords. I hope that card kind of comes out to confirm everything that I'm saying right now. But with the two of swords, homegirl is sitting there with her swords, with her arms up, like, I'm stuck. When she could just drop the swords, get up, and make a decision. And so the affirmation here is, I use my intuition in all aspects of life. Center yourself, ground yourself, go outside barefoot like a damn hillbilly, and figure out what decision you want to make. So if it's a relationship and you're choosing, maybe you're choosing between two people, or maybe you're choosing between your freedom and a person, ground yourself in that decision. Ask yourself real questions. What do I want out of the situation? What do I hope to get? What are the real pros and cons? And this is not talking to go ask your mom, your dad, your homeboys, homegirls, whoever. This is not saying to ask them. Ask yourself. Ask yourself what you really want, because a lot of times we give our power away by asking someone else to make the decision. Like when y'all come to me for readings and you give your power away to me and be like, Lolo, help me, I can't decide. Babe, you know what you want to do. You're just afraid of that outcome. And say that. Be honest. Me, when I cannot decide, my Pisces ass, when I can't figure something out, I be like, this is what I really want to do, friends. And I'll be in the audio message. My friends can tell you, I'll be in the audio message like, this is what I really want to do, but this is what my anxiety is telling me to do because I don't want to make the wrong decision. And then when I end up making the decision, either way, I realize that it's going to work itself out. It's fine. Even if I like totally fuck everything up, it always ends up working out. And I think about all the situations that I like cried about, stressed over, damn near lost sleep, did not eat over, all those things. I couldn't even tell them to you right now because they're not important. So, indecision, use your intuition in all aspects of life. Use your intuition in all aspects of life. You're not stuck. You're not indecisive. You know what you want to do about that job, that person, that friendship, that family member that you just can't get along with. If you're trying to make a big purchase, you know what you want to do. You know what your heart says. And if something in you feels unsettled for any moment, take that as a no. We always ask for signals and signs and symbols from the universe, but when they come, we're still indecisive. We're still confused. No, this red is the color of the root chakra. Ground yourself. The root chakra keeps us grounded and connected to the earth, to Mother Nature, to everything. So ground yourself. Get outside. Take a deep breath. Take a couple of deep breaths and say, what do I really want to do? First thing that comes to mind, that's it. All right. So now we're going to move on to moon messages. What else do my people need to hear? Because we're getting some good stuff so far, y'all. We're getting some good stuff. I love when the readings drag me too, because I be sitting there like, ah! Okay, this one fell out too. I'll take the bottom of the deck as well. A fiery climax approaches full moon in Aries. So the full moon in Aries is in Libra season. So just keep in mind, if you're watching this and it's after Libra season, something that happened around that time may be coming to ahead, or it may kind of set the tone for the rest of the time. Or if this Libra season is to come because you're watching this video in August, September, whenever, what the card says is a fiery climax approaches. So Aries is very headstrong. Aries is very initiative. They're very, they're initiators. They're very big on like taking the first step, being the pioneers, and just trying to jumping into things impulsively. And so what this card kind of gives me the sign, and then it's a full moon too. Full moons are usually like an illumination of a bunch of events that have happened. And it's when tensions are hiding, emotions are hiding, conflict is at a high. And I feel like for a lot of you, you're kind of like reaching the peak of a certain energy. And so say, for example, if we're using like a job, or say you're trying to manifest a new job so that you can be able to move out and be able to do what it is that you want to do with your life. I feel like now we're going to reach the height of that energy where it's like do or die. That's how Aries is. I have a Venus in Aries, and everything that I do feels very Venus, love, romance, pleasure. Everything that I do in those areas feel very do or die. Like when I like somebody, when I'm crushing somebody, it's very do or die. It's very like, I want this person, I'm gonna get them, you know? So that Aries energy is very like heightened. right? And so I feel like leading up to the full moon in Aries, because we're going to do it as a timeline, leading up to the full moon in Aries, or if you're watching this after, something that happened during the full moon in Aries has kind of like heightened a do or die energy in you. It's time for you to take initiative. It's time for you to really step out there and to be like an Aries, think impulsively, and get something done. Because I think a lot of times with those cards talking about mistakes and doubt and fear and waiting, sometimes when you play the waiting game, you wait too long and it passes you by. Never be that person. Never be that person where things start to pass you by because you're so afraid to take that leap. And that's the balance kind of between I guess that's why it says full moon in Aries, because it puts us on that Aries Libra axis. Libra is very, sorry if you're watching this, but Libra is known to be a bit more passive unless it's something that they're super passionate about and they're willing to fight for. Because remember, Libra is justice. Justice is they're ready to fight for what's fair, but they kind of have to channel that Aries energy in order to bring that side out of them, that fighter spirit. And so for you all, I feel like now it's time to bring that, not be so Libra, so passive, so I'm just going to kind of wait and see. No, now it's time to take the initiative, jump out, jump off the porch. If you're watching this, jump off the porch. I think I'm going to call this reading Jump Off the Porch, because it's time. Don't let the mistakes and the fear and all that shit stop you. First of all, the world was probably going to end anyway. I'm just going to keep it a being with y'all. So at this point, if you're not doing what you want to do, if you're not putting yourself out there, if you're not going after every opportunity, you're just going to waste this lifetime. Like, let's be real. The fear, yeah, I get it. Sometimes we not have all the ducks in the row. But when I think of like the shit that our ancestors had to go through, they didn't have all their ducks in the row. They just did what the fuck they needed to do to get us to where we are today. And so we have to kind of think like that. Like, it's crazy that when I sit and think about all the things that they didn't have and all the opportunities in space and just things that I have readily available at my fingertips, and also my mind. Like, my ancestors did not go to college. They didn't have that like ability. They just had to make shit shape with what they had. And I think that that's why we give them this like powerful I don't even know what the right word to call it, but that's why I see them as like type people, because it's like you made shit shake with basically nothing. So with you, all the tools readily available, with the powerful, sharp, intuitive mind that you have, think about that the next time you start doubting yourself, and think about them. Think about how they're probably watching you like, get up, get your routine together. We understand that you're sad. We understand that you've been through a lot. We understand that you're stressed. We understand that you're overwhelmed, but make it happen. Make it happen. Okay? So think of them cheering you on, and think of me as well, because I'm finna come to some of y'all house and drag you out the bed today. All right? And then lastly, conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse. So eclipses actually scare the shit out of me. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. Like, not a bitch flipping tarot cards talking about the moon scares her. Yes, you heard it here first. But the full moon eclipse definitely scares me, because I remember the last one we had, I think it was in June, and it was just so many realizations I was having about life, my purpose. It's just really heavy energy. Eclipses are, first of all, they're dark and scary. Look at this damn pig, okay? If I saw that in the sky, I don't even want to look at them. But when I see these in the sky, I'd be like, I'm out of here. But yeah, so I feel like the conclusions and the things that you are hoping for, the answers that you're looking for, whether it's from people, whether it's from God, whether it's from yourself, whether it's from a job, those are coming. Cycles are going to start closing for you. And I think that with today's date is a 9 number. So basically how you get the numerology of the day is you add the month plus the date plus 2021. And you get it all down to 1 digit. So like, say if the number you get at the end is 15, 5 plus 1 is 6, it's a 6 day, like that. So I feel like with today being a 9-day, conclusions are within reach. Like, we're at the end of the cycle. We're coming up the top of the stairs. We see the end goal in sight, and we're ready to just close out the chapter. So for those of you who feel like you're waiting on confirmation for something, this is your confirmation that it's almost over. And I feel like now we can relax our shoulders. We can take a deep breath out, calm our body and calm our mind, because at this point, now it's time to start over fresh. And I feel like that's what a lot of people need. So if you're watching this, I feel like a fresh start is exactly what you're looking for, and it's coming to you, okay? Now we're gonna see if anything, y'all. Oh, bottom of the deck is time for play. Let me tell y'all, I've been getting a lot of messages about it's time to play. I'm not saying play games, because there'll be people watching it. Lolo, you said I did not, okay? But time to play. I feel like it's time to, like the inner child message, I always point to the sun behind me, because look at this motherfucker on the horse. But I feel like it is time to just really live y'all lives. And whether you got to do that inside because of COVID, whether you have to go away, go camping, there are things that y'all could do that's safe outside. You know what I'm saying? But like, I just think that it's time to allow our inner child to come out. The way that I do it is I be in my house, but I watch childhood movies, like children's movies. I watch things that I used to love, like Sister. I be in here dying laughing. I was watching Good Times the other day, just trying to bring that inner child or kind of take myself back to that. I also journal to my inner child. There's so many things you could do. Girl, I be here watching the Cheetah Girls, like, we are sisters, trying to bring that inner child out. So I think that time to play is such a huge thing for 2021 because life sucks. Life is just so overwhelming. I said that at 2021, which was really creepy in the video, but whatever. I just feel like we just need to play. We need to keep our spirits light because with this COVID stuff and everything that's happening in the rest of the world, I feel like every corner of the world has a different issue right now, and we just, sometimes it's just too much. Sometimes we just need to focus on other things. Okay, so let's see what else is coming up for this group watching. Oh hell. See what I'm saying? The cards just be falling out. The card that fell on the bottom was confusion. A lot of confusion. A lot of things are not going to start making sense, especially because Libra season is the next Mercury retrograde, and Libra is like our one-to-one relationships and stuff like that, and the balance that we have in those relationships. And so I feel like a lot of things are going to be out of whack in general. So again, take this time to play, take this time to breathe, because when the next Mercury retrograde, the final Mercury retrograde of the year comes, child. And then we got like 6 other planets in retrograde right now too. Like, they squatted the fuck up. They was like, look, this is a karmic time. It's time for us to heal. It's time for us to break some cycles, some generational curses. So it's a lot of energy right now, and you just got to keep your spirit up any way you can. Ooh. Ask for help, yeah. And I think that this is not just with your support system asking for help. This is also just asking for professional help. There's nothing wrong with seeing a therapist, seeing a psychiatrist, seeing someone who can provide the mental clarity. Sometimes that when the confusion does come in, we kind of just bog it down and we kind of just like keep our head down and stay focused. No, sometimes you actually do need to reach out to someone and let them know what's going on inside your brain, you know, and let them know that, hey, I'm not feeling okay, and that's all right. You know what I'm saying? I found my therapist on therapyforblackgirls.com. I always tell people these tools are one thing, connection to the divine is one thing, but also sometimes we need the physical or the person to come in and assist us as well. So I love using my intuition as well as help from my therapist to figure me out, air me out, and figure me out. That's what I say. There's too many cards. Why does all these cards keep coming out for this group? Maybe I'm not supposed to use this deck. Maybe I'm not supposed to use this deck, and that's fine. We're just going to use something else. Let's just use a traditional tarot deck, because clearly the oracle cards don't want to come out, and that's okay. What else for this group? What else is coming for this group? Any jump out boys going to try to come out the deck? No, clearly not. I may have to just pick from the top. Okay. All right, so we got the 4 of Pentacles here. And the thing about this card that pisses me off is that we're blocked. We're blocked from every single angle. With the pentacle on our head, sometimes we got money on our minds. We're focusing too much on the material world, the physical things, and that's what makes us feel safe and feel comfortable. But by doing that, by keeping all those things up here, we're blocking our connection to spirit. Then we have a pentacle over our heart. So we're guarding our heart for the sake of security, for the sake of stability, maybe even picking career over love when to me, I feel like you could have both. So you're blocking your heart chakra, and then there's 2 pentacles on the feet there. So we're not even grounded because there's a root chakra imbalance. When we feel like we don't have enough of material things, enough money, enough resources, enough whatever, we start to freak out. So he's kind of clutching onto everything that he possesses because that's what makes him feel safe. And I think that a lot of us move scared in that way. A lot of us move from fear like that. And clearly he's not going to be able to receive anything because he's already preoccupied holding on to what he already owns. You got to let that shit go. A lot of times, for me, I'm always like, I'm hoarding my possessions, I'm hoarding my money, I'm hoarding all these things, and I'm not living life's experiences because I'm too afraid of, like I said, making mistakes, making the wrong move. When you do that, when you block your connection in all these different ways, when you're blocking the heart chakra, how can you live from love? How can you want love and want healthy balance? Not even just romantic connections, but just connections, period. If you're blocking that heart source because you're tunnel vision with the money. That don't make sense. Those energy work in tandem, okay? Love and being able to receive, and also stability, all our chakras work together. That's what people are not getting. So you need to kind of have a give and take. As you give love, you receive love. As you give support, you open yourself up to receiving support, and vice versa. And then with money always being on our mind, always being the thing that is sitting right up here, how can we receive messages if that channel is blocked? It's like somebody unplugging the Wi-Fi. If you unplug your Wi-Fi from God, how you expect to stay connected? Come on now. Then we have the Eight of Pentacles. So yeah, we are making progress. Sometimes it's hard to see that progress, but we are making progress toward the goal. This is talking about mastery. So if you're a student, if you study, you're trying to get your degree, if you are mastering your craft and your skill, keep going, keep going. I cannot stress this enough. No matter what obstacles come your way, never let it stop you. I know some people who have been in school for 6, 7, 8 years and they're never letting challenges or obstacles get in their way. That's how you have to be. If you want something so bad, you got to be willing to fight for it. That's that Aries energy that we talked about. The Aries energy, wanting to fight for something, wanting to prove that you can win something. Where's your fighter spirit? Where's your competitive nature? Bring that out. And since we do have a lot of Libra energy coming our way pretty soon, I feel like a lot of people are going to be taking more passive stance, and we don't have time for that passive shit. Get it out of here. Keep it going. And then lastly, with the Page of Cups in reverse. So there's a lot of ways that this can go. But I feel like the way I want to take it is talking about not being in touch with our creativity, or kind of feeling lost in a sense of where to go next. And I think that tapping into that inner child energy is what's going to bring that back. I know a lot of people, when they see Page of Cups, they're like, oh, an offer is coming in, someone's coming in to offer you something. But if you don't have anything to offer yourself, how can you expect to receive from someone else? So we're not even going to get it into the woo-woo romance type shit. Let's focus on us for right now. In this part of the reading, and say, like, you know, how can we expect to receive, or how can we expect to tap into that creative energy, or kind of be innovative if we are so focused on money? See, a lot of times when I see readers who, and this is no shade to anybody, but I'm just speaking facts. When I see readers who are focused on getting the dime, the readings don't hit as much because they're trying to hit as many people. You ever see those tweets that be like Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Virgo? Y'all are y'all gonna receive this, and offers coming to me. It's like, how can that resonate to all those people? You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, if I say certain things, if I bring up certain signs, or if I touch on a subject that hits your heart, it hits your heart. If it don't, come back to it another day. If not, I have other videos for people. I break them down by sign. But you can tell when people are doing things for the money versus doing it for the love of the game. So I think that a lot of us just have to tap into that heart space, that heart center. With the Ace of Cups being in reverse, usually the Ace of Cups is in the upright. It's overflowing with love. It's overflowing with creativity, with joy, with a new beginning, with all those things. But with this being in the reverse, it's saying we just don't have the energy to do that, and we need to pour back into ourselves. So spend time figuring out what it is that you want. Remember that indecision card? Once we get past that indecision and not being able to figure out what we want, who we want, where we're going, we know, we're just afraid. That's okay. Just say it. But once we figure those things out and start pouring into ourselves, then we'll be able to not move mad, not move scared, and just move with love, move with like excitement. You know what I'm saying? So figure it out, what it is that y'all want out of these jobs, out of these relationships, out of these business endeavors. Figure out what it is that you want, what you desire, what you need, and then go after it with the strength of the Aries, with like the strength of a 1,000 suns. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry to be rapping in this video, and this is very much giving preachy, so I'm about to stop. But I just want us to step into our power and not be so quick to give that away. So I hope this reading resonates. For whoever resonates to, this is what you need to hear. I love y'all. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe.